on behalf of Cory Snowgren. I don't know if I have your permission, Mayor, I'd like to give the council members just a copy of I'll just call it a CV that we have passed out to your investigator when we met with him last Wednesday. And I want to give this to all the members because I'm not sure if everybody is familiar with all of the accomplishments and honors that Cory has brought to our community through his hard work since 2010. I have one for you as well.
Sure, thank you.
And of course, this isn't the full set of all the things that he's done for our community, but just a few of them that I wanted to highlight. And I don't know, how familiar you all are with what he's done, but since 2010, he's brought over $100 million worth of grants to Denison and the surrounding communities. He was currently working on additional grants right now, as well as planning his training for this spring's training, which he's been doing for the last 8 years for the city of Denison, which we never had before. I don't know how many of you have met with Cory personally or spent time with him outside of council's chambers, but I've known Cory for 8 years since he's been here. I consider him a friend, and I wouldn't be representing him with whatever comes out of this if I didn't have absolute faith and confidence in his abilities to run the fire department. We all make mistakes. It takes a bigger person to admit when we make mistakes, and it's hard to do. I respect the council's decision to investigate matters that are of concern to council. I think that's your job, is to investigate matters. And I don't see any problem at all whatsoever with an investigation continuing if that's what needs to happen. But in terms of whether or not these folks should be continued to remain out of work, I just find that to be a travesty for not only my client and his reputation, but also for the citizens of Denison. Just today, we had the fire department called out for a semi-wreck out on the bucket, which is an ongoing problem, as you all know. What's next when we have a large structure fire in Denison? We don't have somebody who we all know and this council has voted on is qualified to lead our team. I think that's more important. Not that money's not important, but we're talking about human lives being at stake here. And yes, we have an assistant chief and other volunteers who have graciously stepped in the meantime, but we as citizens shouldn't have to count on that. We should be able to have our chief, who hasn't committed any illegal activity, continue to do his best that he can do on the fire department. I spent a lot of time with Cory since December 20th when he hired me to represent him. And I have a lot of faith in his abilities to continue to move past all of this. Obviously, his feelings are hurt. He's disappointed, he's embarrassed, ashamed, he has a lot of questions. We wish it was handled a little bit differently, but that's the past. He's willing to move on. He'd like his job back. He'd like to look for ways to work with all the members of council in whatever way that would be to figure out a way where everybody can get more on the same page with the issues that affect our city, because that's beneficial to everybody. And he knows that because he's had his training in the Marines. He's been a professional his entire life before he even came to Denison. He served in Ohio for about 25 years. So he's the type of individual who is a true professional, who I think has probably the support, probably everybody here. I'm not gonna ask for a show of hands, but I'm just guessing they're not here because they want Cory gone. So I hope that you all take a look at his short list of accolades, and there's more if you'd like them. And I ask that you consider them and please reinstate him so that he can go back to work for us tomorrow. And I should add one more thing as a testament to how valuable Cory is. Since he has been placed on leave by Denison, he was voted captain of the Vale Fire Department as volunteer, unpaid. And also, he has been voted on to serve as a member of the Manila and Dow City Fire Department. So, if there's anybody here that really questions his integrity, you only need to look to our neighbors to see that he's just well liked by everybody. And so, to the extent that he might be considered collateral damage in this whole thing, I'd ask you to give him the benefit of the doubt and please reinstate him. Thank you.